So the big news in boxing, obviously, is the fact that Floyd Mayweather Jr. will be fighting on September 17th against Victor Ortiz, who holds a version of the welterweight championship that he won from Andre Berto in a very close and exciting fight. So this begs many questions about the Pacquiao-Mayweather potential matchup. We can interpret this many different ways. Some have suggested that the fact that Floyd Mayweather Jr. has decided to come out and fight not against Pacquiao right now, but rather against Victor Ortiz, who is a lefty and kind of a generic version of Manny Pacquiao, is an indication to them that Mayweather's serious about fighting Pacquiao probably next year, and that this represents a tune-up fight which he felt he needed to fight Pacquiao, and moreover, he's fighting a man who is in some ways very similar, a lefty, very active fighter who likes to attack and throw lots of punches. Obviously, Victor Ortiz is not Manny Pacquiao. Now, let's examine facts here so that nobody gets too carried away either negatively or positively about Mayweather and his choice, or for that matter, Manny Pacquiao and his choice of Juan Manuel Marquez. Here is the reality about Victor Ortiz. A talented young fighter who many people felt was exposed against Marcos Maidana in losing a fight, and they felt afterwards not showing enough fortitude about it, and even suggesting that he wanted to leave the sport. To his everlasting credit, he rebuilt his career and then went on to beat Andre Berto in a very close win in which he was knocked down, and it was a stirring fight. Now here's the facts about Victor Ortiz. He's a young man who had a draw against Lamont Peterson, a loss to Marcos Maidana, who later went on to lose to Amir Khan, and a narrow win over Andre Berto. Those are his three marquee fights. So he goes in against Floyd Mayweather Jr. having never won against top opposition in a definitive way. That's just a fact. That's not to demean Victor Ortiz. I think he has the potential to become a wonderful fighter, and he's already a good fighter. But let's not paint this as anything more than it is. Yes, Victor Ortiz has more youth than, let's say, Juan Manuel Marquez, who, of course, Pacquiao will be fighting. But that's about it. Juan Manuel Marquez, a legend in the sport, an aging legend. And that's part of the issue. And that's why some people think he's not the greatest opponent for Manny Pacquiao. And there's the fact that Marquez has trouble going up in weight and lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr. in a very definitive way. But he obviously gave Manny Pacquiao good fights in their fights some years ago. Now here's the interesting thing for Mayweather and for Pacquiao. Both are now fighting men later this year who represent a perfect fight leading up to a potential fight with each other. Ortiz, as I mentioned, has a style similar to Manny Pacquiao. He attacks. He's not as dangerous as Manny Pacquiao, certainly, and in many ways kind of made to order for Floyd Mayweather Jr. There's a potential, though, that Ortiz could create an exciting fight. However, we all know that exciting fight and Floyd Mayweather Jr. don't go in the same sentence. And I say that not to disparage him necessarily because he's a brilliant technician in the ring. It's just a fact. Now, for Manny Pacquiao, he fought Shane Mosley, also a good simile, if you will, for Floyd Mayweather Jr. And now here comes Marquez, who is a kind of a counter-punching right-hander, who also provides some of the things that Floyd Mayweather Jr. would provide, though certainly he is not on any level the defensive fighter that Mayweather is, and he's certainly not as big. So all this now has us buzzing over the possibility of a Mayweather Jr. Manny Pacquiao fight early next year. But I would say to you, whatever the impediments that existed before for that fight, and in my mind, most of them, it seems, are on the Mayweather side, because Manny Pacquiao has agreed to the testing he wanted. They had financial offers that seemed to please both men, and always it seems it's Mayweather that does not want the fight. Whatever the impediments, they still exist, in my opinion. And the question will be, will those impediments be surmounted? Now, let's point out one last thing. Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s legal issues, which are considerable. He's charged with assaulting the mother of his children. He's got a couple other pending legal issues, and he's facing some very serious charges. We assumed that part of the reason why he wasn't fighting Manny Pacquiao was because those things were going to be difficult for him to juxtapose against fighting. Apparently not so, because he's fighting Victor Ortiz on September 17th. So when you put it all in a nutshell, it's either a great tune-up fight for Manny Pacquiao, and they'll figure out a way to make it happen early next year, or it's another way for Floyd Mayweather Jr. to make somewhere between $30 and $40 million and deal with his tax issues. Only time will tell.